Our first inductee is Tom Shinabargar. Curly-haired Tom Shinabargar started playing at Valley, Delta, and the Brentwood Blazers before moving to the USHL Sioux City Musketeers and eventually at Bemidji State. Tom never really did much with his talent. Scott wrote that. Except for when he won the MVP of the Gateway International Tournament and when he was named Team MVP for the Sioux City Musketeers, and to top that off, he was named to Bemidji State's 50 Greats in 50 Years. Congratulations, Tom Shinabargar.
I haven't done this in a while. I used to be a principal at a charter school, and I would only have to announce stuff at a Christmas concert or a spring concert. And it was pretty brief. Everybody was there to see the kids, of course. So I'm a little rusty at this, so be patient with me. Before I get started, I'd like to thank the St. Louis Amateur Hockey Hall of Fame Committee for the decision to induct me into this Hall of Fame. This is an incredible honor and privilege and something I will always reflect on with great pride. I also want to congratulate my fellow inductees up here on their accomplishments in promoting St. Louis hockey either as a player or a position behind the scenes. It all helped to advance St. Louis hockey to the competitive level and respect that it holds today. Like I said, it's been a while since I've talked in front of a large crowd like this. And so I asked my niece, what should I do? And she had her advice, I guess. She told me that I should keep my head up, work the room, and smile like you're not nervous. So I thought about it and then I responded. So you want a 57-year-old guy to imagine he's strutting his stuff up on the catwalk like a fashion model in this type of setting. She looked at me and she said, "Yep, it works for me." So here I go. Being a part of St. Louis hockey has had a significant influence on my life and has helped me into the person I am today. I always cherish my time at Valley Hockey Club, Brentwood Blazers Hockey Club, and the CBC High School hockey program. My first coach was Bud Mitchell at Valley Hockey and provided me with basic skills of teamwork and skills in order to be competitive. And we had some competitive teams. From the Brentwood Blazers Junior B team, Lou Struckman and Doc Ruckel was able to get 20 hockey players to play and believe in the Blazers. That wasn't easy to do. Back in those days, we had the Junior B Metro League, but we also had the high school league. So someone you would compete against in one time, the following night, you had to accept them as your player. So it was kind of difficult. You might hit them the night before, but you might have a game or practice for the Blazers, and you'd have to accept them. So it was kind of unique how Doc Rocco and Lou Struckman was able to do that year in and year out. So I really want to say thank you to those guys. At CBC, when Rick Kennedy became the coach of my senior year, I finally understood what it meant when people say the right person for the job. His knowledge of the game and professionalism helped build a dynasty at CBC. With Jim Jones and brother Michael Jordan and the brotherhood that CBC exemplifies, I felt so lucky to be playing for CBC, and I got a great education. With the seven of us, we were actually, I had 4 sisters and 2 brothers. So there were 7 of us in this small house. So I had I kind of get an idea of how things work when you have a large group of people. And thanks to them, I was able to understand what your role is. Whether I was away from home and get homesick, they would send me cards and letters and stuff like that, or they would just show up. So their support was greatly appreciated by me. I want to especially thank my brother Mark and his family who helped me before and after this induction. He said, I came down and I watched my nephew play in a hockey arena, and we saw the banners that they have that they display for all the players that are being inducted for that year. And he said, a Shinabargar name should be in there. And with his persistence, here I am today. I want to thank him for that. Thank you, Mark. So back when I was 5 years old, I saw the Blues play on TV. My dad was watching it. So I stopped and I watched it, and I said out loud, and I wasn't even talking to him, I'd like to play that. So within that week, I was public skating at Wonderland Ice Rink. And from there, not too long after that, I found myself playing for Valley Hockey Club. My dad, who loves sports, he's also in the St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame. So he kind of set the bar high for me. And what I liked about my dad, everybody who knows anything about hockey, that you have road trips and you have all those things, the early practices and all that stuff. And I'm not going to talk about that, but what I liked about my dad, when we went to, like, say, Dallas, we would go to places, or to Kansas City or Chicago. We would go look at landmarks or monuments or something, or museums. So in Dallas, we went to the place where JFK was shot, to an airplane museum in Dayton, and the Science Museum in Chicago, just to name a few. So my dad, I think, the point of that was just to keep me out of the hotel, away from all my other hockey players, and not to get into trouble. But because of that, I still like to travel, and I still like to see things. So Dad, thank you for that. For those of you who don't know my mom, I think she's the coolest mom ever. I played soccer along with hockey, and sometimes I would have a schedule conflict. So there were times I would stay for 2 periods of hockey and then go play the second half of a soccer game. So she would meet me in the lobby, and she would have the skate guards ready, put them on, we'd get in the car, and then we'd go off to soccer. Well, at some point in this whole journey, there was a naked little boy back in her car, and she didn't mind that. And another moment, when me and my brother, she would make supper. And when she would make supper, we would play a little hockey game in the kitchen. And this one time, she was making spaghetti sauce and meatballs. So we're playing, and I take a shot on net. I hit the crossbar, it banged off the window, hit off the cabinet, and then landed right in her meatball and spaghetti sauce. So, after she flinched, I was surprised that there's a hockey puck in her spaghetti sauce. She picked it up, went over to the sink, rinsed it off, and just like in street hockey games when a car goes through, she threw it out there and she said, "Game on." What a cool moment. To my boys and sons, thanks for letting me be your coach. I think they saw me as a dad helping out, and not all the accomplished as a player that I had. There's nothing like going to a cold hockey rink in northern Minnesota when it's minus 30 and 40 degrees outside. What a wonderful moment. Thanks, Ryan, Aaron, and Colin, for the memories and all the success you had in your own hockey career. I also want to thank you for coming down for this event. They brought down 2 of my boys and their family. They brought them down, and they're traveling with a 20-month-old and a 9-month-old. And it's nice that you guys have ordered the really hot weather, so us from Minnesota, we were just melting at the zoo yesterday. So, when I left for college my second year, my mom told me, "I hope you meet a really nice girl, Tommy. You deserve one." And I don't know, I'm sure every mom says that. Well, I did better than that because she was a beautiful, smart, and kind, and a boatload of common sense gal that I met. So within a year, I asked my now wife, Heidi, to marry me. So she's been through hockey life, from being a hockey girlfriend to being a hockey mom. She's an amazing woman. Thank you, Heidi. So whether she was a nursing student when I met her, so whether through helping me with injuries as a player, tying skates for her boys to play a game outside in our backyard rink, she's always been supporting me and my hockey life. Thank you, honey. Someday, hopefully, I'll be able to pay you back. In closing, I want to thank you all for attending this event, the Hall of Fame committee, and of course, my family. Thank you.